Welcome to the Journey to a Million podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Walker. This podcast is about my personal journey from being $25,000 in debt to getting to $1 million of net worth by the age of 43. Follow along with my journey, implement the ideas, and let's do it together. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's get started. All right, what's up out there? Welcome to the Journey to a Million podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Walker. Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021. And I think the last podcast I did was December 30th, 2020. So first one of 2021. Got to start doing better about doing these, more frequently. It's been a little too long, but this is one of the best days to ever be in cryptocurrency today. It's a great day. Everything is pumping. Everything is up pretty much. It's just been, a great day and a great month. And we'll kind of dive in here and talk about some of the stuff here. So the future is bright in crypto. We know that there's going to be some pullbacks here and there. The volatility goes up and down 10, 20% sometimes. But we know that it's just going to keep going up for a few more months at least. And then we'll go into some kind of pullback for a while, and then it'll start building again for the next bull run. So things are definitely coming together. I think last time we talked, it was in December 30th. It's just funny because I think back then I posted something today on Facebook, and it was a post that I made from October. And I put all the reasons like we talked about in some of the other podcasts about like macroeconomic stuff, all the money printing, national debt, hedging against the dollar, stuff like that. The reason that Bitcoin should continue to go up. And I didn't even realize at that point, Bitcoin was 13,000. I thought it was maybe 19,000. I think it was 19 in November. And it's just funny because at that time, it's all relative. And you see, when Bitcoin was 13,000, everybody's like, well, it's high, but it could go up. And then when it was at 19, they were like, man, it's definitely high. I don't know what's going to happen. And today we're sitting at $47,000 per Bitcoin. And from that time that I posted that post in October, it's 4x'd from there, and maybe a little bit even more. So that's just crazy to think about. And, it's only been November, December, January, February, like 4 months since then, and it's 4x'd. So, and we're talking about the biggest price, the highest price cryptocurrency out there is 4x'd. That's crazy. Not like a small one that's like $1 and went to $4. This one went from $13,000 to $47,000 in 4 months. So, I think some of the major news that has come out since then was we talked about, or you've seen a week or so ago, Tesla actually made a $1.5 billion Bitcoin purchase. And I think that was in January, but the news about it just came out this past week. And then Apple apparently has already bought it and we just don't know about it, or they're going to buy it very soon. So just to kind of touch on it again, is just that right now with all the money printing that's been going on in the Federal Reserve, and with the extra stimulus that's probably coming here shortly, there's just going to be so much printing of money in the US that it just devalues the dollar. And when you're a company like Apple, I got this information from Leo Trades on YouTube. I think they had like $192 billion in cash. Leo Trades is a great resource out there if you want to follow somebody and kind of get more in-depth detail about some of this stuff. He's talking about how Apple has $192 billion in cash. And so let's say you have $192 billion in cash, and you have that cash is based on the dollar, but the dollar value is depreciating. So you're sitting there looking at your cash, and your cash is like going to be worth less. So how can you mitigate your risk? It's actually going to be to invest in something that's going to go up in value instead of remain the same or fall in value. So I think everybody can kind of see that the dollar is going to fall in value because of all these macroeconomic indicators that we've been talking about for a few months now. And so when the dollar falls in value, that could be billions and billions of dollars that they could lose. So it just makes sense financially to put that money into Bitcoin. So at least that money is appreciating in the short term, at least. And then we'll see where it goes in the next few months, and then that could change people's strategies. But then, whenever the bear market ends this year and we get back into where things have settled out, I think more and more people will just put that money into Bitcoin and just let it ride, because it's going to be a little bit volatile over the next few years. But within 5 years, we'll have another uh, start of another bull run. And so I think the best thing that people can do business wise, if they have a ton of cash, like we're talking people like Apple and Tesla that are just going to be around for a long time, it's like over the next 5 to 10 years, Bitcoin is going to 20x in value. So whenever Bitcoin 20x is in value, and you have $1 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, whatever people want to invest in it, like that's just going to 10 to 20x over the next 10 years, depending on when you get in. So okay, so just wanted to throw something in here because I'm watching the playback of the podcast, and I'm talking a lot about people with billions of dollars, and I know that excludes basically everyone. So I think another point that I want to make is that a lot of people do like to invest in gold, and it's basically just a store of value as a hedge against the dollar in any kind of uncertain times. I think that's basically another big point about what's going to bring a lot of people from retail into Bitcoin, is just to have some kind of way to invest as a store of value. That's just something you want to leave alone and just watch it appreciate over time. As things might be uncertain politically wise, or with other things going on economically. And we're in obviously one of the most uncertain times we've been through recently. So, that's a big thing I wanted to point out, is that there will be a wave, and there actually is a lot of interest right now from the retail side with people that have wealth management, or just people that want to diversify a little bit and have some kind of investments, and it can be any amount of money, from people that have a few bucks to people that have a lot of bucks, or people that are on Fortune 500 or Wall Street. I think you'll see all levels of interest in the first quarter. I think towards the end of the first quarter, we're going to see a lot of interest from, wealth management type businesses that just want to diversify with their customers, because a lot of people want them to have some kind of way for them to invest in Bitcoin. So as this Bitcoin ETF comes out, and it's approved, and people can just use the stock market to invest in Bitcoin, I think you will see a tidal wave of money coming in to invest in Bitcoin. So I did want to point that out there. I don't think it will just be people with billions of dollars in cash, because like that, who are those people besides Elon and Tim Cook? So yeah, that's kind of another thing. We're also finding out that there could be a Bitcoin ETF getting approved. And that basically an ETF is an exchange traded fund where people that just want to invest in Bitcoin on the stock market can just buy a stock, and that's their way of investing in Bitcoin. There's already some of these out there. They're not really ETFs. I don't really know how to explain how they do what they do, but if you want to invest in the blockchain on the stock market, there's Grayscale, Marathon Patent, let's see, Riot Blockchain. There's another one that actually pumped today, SOS, and they're actually in Ethereum mining, I think, too, in China, and they're an undervalued company. I think this month they've gone from about $2.50 up until like today they're at $7, and they're projected to go $10 to $14 pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see how they're looking on Monday, because Ethereum could be another big pumper pretty soon. So that one's called SOS. If you look at ticker, just type in SOS and it should come up. But I'm not going to say it's not going to be volatile in the short term, because it could spike today and then fall by Monday, and then you probably want to get in then. Or I don't know if it'll be up or Tuesday. I'm sorry, markets are closed on Monday this week, but we're talking about by the time you come back on Tuesday, I don't know if it'll be up or down. So it might be good to wait and see. And then see where it's at. And when Ethereum kind of has a little pullback, get back in then. So as you saw this morning, we're looking at now, Ethereum is at an all-time high of $1,860, just over by a few dollars right now. And so if you look at this past month, Ethereum kind of was doing a consolidation phase for a few months from January 13th till January 30th. Pretty long time doing a consolidation phase, moving from about 1,000 to 1,400 up and down. And then right at the end of the month, it just exploded and went all the way up to about 1,600. And then it's just been churning upwards ever since then. So Ethereum's at an all-time high right now, and it's looking like by the end of February it could be at 3,000 as well. So we'll see. But yeah, it's just crazy that how much these things have moved. And I wish I had bought more Ethereum back when it was 300 bucks. Too. I remember the day in May of last year. Excuse me. I actually was looking at Ethereum, and I saw that it would move from like 200 something to 370 something. And I was like, man, that's a big pump, 30 something percent, I think that day. But little did I know that was probably the best time to buy, even after that huge pump. So I did get some right after that, but I think had I known, I probably would have tried to get more and more, just because of how much you could buy. Like to get a quarter of an Ethereum back last year, it was like $100. Now, if I want to buy a quarter of Ethereum, that's $500 almost. So it's pretty, yeah, it's a lot harder to come by. But yeah, so we got Ethereum, just talking about some of the stuff that's been going on in crypto. Everything has been looking good. And so I know this isn't going to last forever, and things aren't going to keep going straight up. But for now, it feels good to look at these things. Bitcoin at 47.5, Ethereum at 1850, Chainlink, one of my favorites, one of the first cryptocurrencies I got into. That was the first one I bought a lot of this past year. Was at $4.50, and now is at $30.25. It's at around 20 to 25 for about a month. Polkadot, wish I had gotten in that one sooner. Was at $5 for a long time, and then now it's at 28 bucks. It soared up to about 17, chopped up and down a little bit, and then now it's at 28. Uniswap breaking 23 bucks. That one sat around $8 till last month sometime, and went up to about 20. Cardano, another one that is going to be a competitor to Ethereum. I think Cardano long term is a really good play because they seem to be working like in a more slow organic growth model than Ethereum. A lot of people seem to like their founder, Charles Hoskinson. He was one of the original people on Ethereum. And so Cardano, interestingly, if you look at what Ethereum is worth to what Cardano is worth, Ethereum is 1,800 bucks, 1,850. Cardano is just under $1 at 92 cents. And up until a few weeks ago or a week ago, Cardano was only like 30 cents. So Cardano has 3x pretty much in the last week or two. But just think about, for the fact that Cardano, even still, like it's under $1, and that's probably going to be a big competitor to Ethereum in the next 5 years. So just think, if you can just load up on some of that, they're probably not going to overtake Ethereum, but what if they get 25% of their market share? I mean, it could 1,000, 10,000x potentially. And I'm just saying, like, I'm not an expert, but I'm just thinking, if Ethereum in 5 years could go to 75K per Ethereum, I mean, what's to say Cardano couldn't go to 1,000 or 10,000? Let's see what else. Synthetics, another one. That one has 3x from about $8 earlier this year to 27 now. So everything has been pumping. Algo, another one that I really like. That one was around 30, 40 cents in December. Let's see. Yeah, now it's at 166, 167. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, 166 right now. So I like Algo a lot. Plus, you get 6% back just by investing in them. So if you get Algo on Coinbase, you're sitting there getting Algo back constantly, and you can watch your little ticker just adding up your Algo that you're getting. So Algo is looking really good. Let's see. Everything has been looking good. Graph is another one. That's kind of like the Google of blockchain. GRT. That one was actually, I wish I had left more money in it because I had some to try to make some back. I'll dive into that next, but I took it out, moved it back into Uniswap. But Graph has gone from about 60 cents when I was in it. If I had left it alone, it's at 250 now. So it would have gone from 64x whatever I had in there. So I think this is an interesting thing that I've learned the past month, because we saw from November to December a consistent rise in prices for a lot of assets in crypto. And um, I decided that in January, I started seeing prices go up and down, and I would make some money, then it come back down, then I make a little bit, get back, then I go back down. And I just kept seeing this cycle. And I thought to myself, okay, so if it keeps doing this, I need to sell some assets when they're peaking, and then when they dip again, I'll buy them again, and I'll just keep adding more and more. Well, that sounds great in theory, but the problem is just time in the market. And so I tried to, sell high, buy low, and there were a few times I got it right. But then the problem was I ended up like selling, and then the next day, even after it dipped a little bit, it went right back up over. So then I'd like lost all this money that I had, in assets that I had. So then I'm trying to get them back. So then I move them into something else, and I'm like, okay, hopefully this will pump faster, then I can re-get what I lost. And I just kept going through this cycle over the past month of trying to get in back what I had lost. And what I learned was just there's going to be ups and downs in the market, and it's just the peace of mind that I lost trying to just get back what I lost just caused me so much stress and stuff like that. I was just always checking prices and stuff, and it's just way more fun just to leave it alone and let it do its thing. And then you check it. If it looks, you ride the cycles of the market, and you might not be optimal every time with buying and selling. But if you're holding, you're still going to have your same amount. And I'm a very OCD person when it comes to my amounts of stuff that I have. And if I have a certain amount of something like 100, and then I go to 85, I'm just going to be looking and thinking, okay, I need those 15 back that I lost. Um, so it's hard to be optimistic in those situations. But yeah, so I learned I'm trying to get back where I was pretty much, and I've done a pretty good job, but I know that I could have done a lot better if I had just, for the most part, just held on to what I have. So that was a tough lesson, but I'm glad I learned it now. And then, I'm still very happy with where I'm at, and then the gains that have been going on this past month, because if I look at it, I'm very happy. I can't imagine basically a year ago till now, the amount of investments that I have, because I was just barely even able to like have any investments whatsoever. I didn't have a good perspective on money. I, like you remember in the podcast and before, I was trying to the first one, I was just trying to pay down debt. But now I'm just working on investments, and I'm seeing my investments start to pay off. And I'm just hoping that where the things are, if the cryptocurrency market from here 10x's by the end of this bull run, I'll be very, very happy with where I'm at. And I'll be way exceeding my goal of what I'm trying to get for this year. So that's what's going on with me. I think also some other stuff that I looked at was crypto called Aave. Aave is a DeFi way, I think, that people can give loans to each other without a bank. I bought one just for fun. It was like 125 bucks. I was like, hey, I'm going to buy one just to get one. Now it's at 523 after about a month. So incredible gains. VeChain is another one. That one, I think I got it around 3 cents, and now it's at 4 cents. So even though that's not a lot of difference in price, that's a 20 or 33% gain. All right, I'm back. Had to go get a cough drop. Sometimes I do these and my voice doesn't dry out at all, but some days like today it does big time. So just looking at another one that I'm talking about is VGX. There's another app that I use called Voyager, and I like the app. It's got like the haptics. When you click on something, it gives you a little feedback, and it's kind of like a more spacey feel, which obviously, I like that. Um, so I use Voyager and for some of my crypto, and they have a coin called VGX, which is Voyager token. And over the past month, it went from 20 cents to about $3, and kind of settled back down about the 250 to $2 range. and now it's back up around $3. So I think that one's a good, quick, short-term thing where I'm just holding it and hoping that it multiplies over time as more and more people get into the cryptocurrency investing. I think as more people get on Voyager, the token seems to appreciate in value. So within the next couple weeks, I'm going to hopefully do one more big buy. I'd like to do it today. I just have to wait on some funds to get here. And once I do that, I'm just holding and ready for the market to go through these cycles. But if you're looking for stuff to get in the short term, I think Ethereum is really good. I think it's going to go up maybe 2,500 or so to 3,000 by the end of this month. Chainlink also, it's starting to move again. I think even $30, you're still in a good position to like 3 to 4x your returns in the next few months. Synthetics continues to move. Algo continues to move. Aave continues to move. I think any of those, and then a lot of people are talking about VeChain. It's VET. You can get that on the Voyager app, and then GRT. Even though it's, I don't know if it's going to keep moving like this, so it could be a little late to buy with how much it just pumped recently. But long term, I mean, it's probably going to go a long way. So maybe you didn't get it at 50 cents, but you got it at $2. And so even if it's at $2 and it goes to like, I don't know what it could go to, but $10, you 5x what you put in. So if you're in the stock market and you think like you make an investment, if you make 10% a year in the stock market, you're doing great. We're talking about 500% in a matter of months with cryptocurrency. And that's on the low end. If we might 5x, 10x, 20x, 25x, 50x. It's hard to know if anything will 100x at this point, this bull run, but buy stuff, and a lot of people are predicting the end of this bull market should be sometime in August or September. So I would recommend you guys checking out people on YouTube for that information. That way you can know when to sell. And then when everything kind of settles out, you can buy back in. But if you get stuff now and then it goes up and then you get it back again after the market falls down, you can just hold it for years and just wait. Because if you can wait 5 years, I know 5 years sounds like a long time. It is for me too. But now is the time where you can still get really good gains from this year and then roll those over, sell it, roll it over, back over when the bear market starts. And if you can hold for 3 years, you know, those are the people who held for the past couple of years are the ones who are just laughing right now at like how much they've multiplied their money. So even getting in, I think like for me this past year, April and May of last year was a great time. I wish, you know, the hardest thing has just been accumulating funds to get into the market, you know. And once I've gotten those in, it's just hold and have fun. That's what I would say. So that's what's been going on. And I'll come out with more podcasts that are a little bit more practical. And this one is just kind of checking in on the state of the market, how good things are going right now, appreciating that, knowing it's probably going to pull back a little bit at some point, and then it's going to start back again. So this is the fun part. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Have a happy Valentine's Day. I'll see you later.